power like Bishop. What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
Ambicioso.
There's a devil and an angel in my
Check it. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You are feeling sleepy. Under deep hypnosis, I'm the composer, master of the opus. Mind on cruise control, lost all focus. Puppet masters love pulling strings, herding the sheeple by selling dreams. You have to be asleep to live the American theme. They create the problem, then deliver the solution. Profit of both ends, all we fall for the illusion. The government are all one, but promote to divide. Walk right into the trap cause most people are blind. They can't see the plan has conquered the mind. While we sit here and argue, we can't get back time. History stays relevant, destroying our future. Self-destruction has become part of the culture, while the rich feed off the dead like vultures. No more hibernation, awoke to sleep the giant. Put a ripple through the system, awakening the vibrant. I'm the alkaline of water, Poseidon with the trident. Bitch.
Travel to dark places and bring back light from the dark ages. You were born dying. Once you start aging, things start changing. Realizing all your thoughts come from the dark ages. Patient, have patience. It take time to diagnose the right maintenance. Every second, every hour, our brain changing. They say read a book instead of your bank statement. Broke. With a broken soul, a hopeless troll, going against the grain, blocking lanes until you lose control. What's the force that moves your bones? And what's the voice you hear in your head when you all alone? We all were cloned from a X and Y chromosome, and you gotta go to the ocean floor to find the oldest bones. Get the squids and the oldest souls, the spine of the sea. Is the coral reef, is there gravity in the water? Take a dive in, buoyancy. As your dead body float, you sure to see the sun rise at your feet. It's hard to make decisions. Listen when the world is glitching. It's hard to make decisions. The world is glitching. Family, I go to war behind. Morals, I stand behind. For the record, I had to put it on the vinyl. This is basic instructions before leaving Earth. When the blood pressure squeeze, it hurt. When the pressure's on your bloodline, and it comes down to whoever family squeezing first. We berserk in front of maroon fire, like the color bleeding through his shirt. Me and baby pray together. That's how we stay together. Hallelujah. Meaning hell is where they do it. Meaning hell is in the ground when they lower you. That's the lower you. That's when you see your soul split in two. The world glitching. The world glitching. The world glitching. Kinda hard being a normal John, knowing every time I die I spine. I think I'm God, under the most high. When I yawn out my mouth, I literally can hear a ghost fly. It's a cold line, I found every zero to the ones die. This shit sick, now divided in 3. You got the Trinity, is the trivia. 963, 963. The world glitching. The world glitching.
The world glitching. Oopsie. What's up, Three Fingers and a K? How's everyone doing today? I've been trying to find old pictures in Laos, in Cambodia. The amount of bombs that were used in those wars to level temples. I'm starting to think these wars are over hiding architecture. You know, I watched some videos, some guy talking about Jesus in Memphis. And I thought Memphis is in Tennessee, right? They were saying that Jesus was in Tennessee and he studied in Memphis. People probably think of Memphis over in Egypt. But I'm starting to think America has more to do with the Bible than we're told. And never fails. They're always conjuring up loud cars in my house. In Tennessee, Jesus walked on water. And the Moors' architecture was whitewashed by the Mormons. Not just the Mormons, but they play a role. Because if you look at all the architecture across what we call America, it's always some so-called white dude. There's no Spanish architects, no, so, you know, what the fuck? Everywhere you go, you see so-called white people building all this. Starting to wonder here. You know, I'm looking at Angkor Wat right now. That sucks, Anna K. Use I gotta get my hands on some woodworm or no wormwood. If anyone knows where to get wormwood, man, let me know. You know, wormwood is even in the Bible, which blows my mind. I think these people mistaken wormwood for a fucking planet. Like, this lady came out and said that the capital CANCER could all be mopped away with wormwood, 6-day usage, allegedly. And I just lost a friend last month to cancer, lung cancer, and I'm like, damn. And I told her, I said, don't get schemo. Nothing about that. When my mother was getting it, sounded right to me. And then I had no knowledge like I do now of stuff. But yeah, imagine that. It's that simple to rid the body of parasites. Because I'm starting to find out a lot of things that we call a dis-ease is caused by microscopic buggies called parasites, allegedly. I don't know how true this is. I don't know anything. I just looked this stuff up. If I knew something, I wouldn't, you know, I'm dumb. Don't believe me. Do your own research. Well, I'm not dumb, but yeah, you know, when I'm learning this stuff, it's like Mother Earth has an answer, but yet we go to these white coats, or people do. I don't. I try my best to not go to see any white coats. I don't trust them. I don't like them. Their energy to me is they're happy to treat you all right. Just treat or mask or doctor up the problem. We'll doctor it up and treat it, but we won't cure. You never hear that word come out of their mouth, to cure. That's their whole ball game. So I really ain't mad at them. That's their hustle. By deceiving people, they're crooked mechanics. They will fuck your car up. That's what I'm missing. Oregano oil. That's wild. Because I have cumin. That's what I was missing to complete. I had cumin. I always forget the name of this fucking stuff. And I'm finding out a lot of bad things about plastique too. Cumin, cayenne pepper, and turmeric. I got to get more of these glass jars. I don't want to have nothing to do with plastic anymore. And I can't believe I used to chew on plastic straws when I was in my teenage years. What a dummy I was for that. The Kachinas, the moon and sun. Yeah, I don't, just my opinion. Here we go again. The heliocentric model, I don't, you know, people subscribe to it. That's cool too. That's their decision. But me, I think it's gotten to the point where they could flip the polarities themselves. And I thought about this thinking of science experiments. If they could flip the polarities on a micro, not, well, I'll call it a microscopic level, because even though it's not, it's a macro, but it's so little, you're doing it for play. But imagine what they could do if they could hack into this main computer or energy source. Some people seem to think that the grid is toast, but I don't. And it's just odd, all these billionaires are just going to go hide underground like the biatches they are. That's all right. We'll just wait for them to come out. They got to come out sooner or later. There's always a way in anyway. But Pixel T, isn't that Pixel T, that's Kimba or what's her name? Paula or Kimba, one of them two. What's up, S? Lucid? I read loads of reviews. What up, True Zone? But yeah, I'm trying my best to eat much more healthier. But I say I need wormwood for a reason. Because I try to tell my friend about diabetes, what I've learned. You know, I'm not a doctor and I don't give no advice at all. No medical advice, but I was just conversating with my friend. And I was telling them about parasites in the gut and how they live on, what is it called that diabetics have? It's because it's not producing, what you call it. So I told them, they got you on all this stuff. I said, when you could just solve the entire problem. They're only doctoring the problem. And my friend knows this, and I said, good. Even though it's not a bad thing to watch your sugar levels, because there's so much sugar in everything. And the sugar they use is terrible. It goes in your bones, I heard. A lot of things. I don't know how true this stuff is, but I'll take it into consideration. You know, these people are evil as you could be, man. If you could produce chemical food and put it out there, I don't care if you have a choice to look up the ingredients or not. What? It's still playing dirty games. Let's say a young man buys something. You don't know to look the ingredients up. He's literally buying poison. I don't care. I stand on what I stand on. If it don't make me any better than them, fuck it. I'll let it fall on me then. You know. Do they deserve a second chance? I think to myself a lot. It's not my decision, but how do we know it's not their fourth chance? Sugar helps the parasite. Yeah. But yeah, you know, in my opinion, they've killed a lot of people. Can it be a better person? Anyone can. At that point, I don't think they deserve a second chance, in my opinion, after what they've done. All them companies like Johnson & Johnson. I wonder how many young children have gotten sick from that baby powder back in them days. And I'm also hearing that these dyes are supposed to be illegal now in the U.S. Some of them. I think they made one dye illegal, which makes no sense. I could be wrong. I heard yellow something was illegal now. It should all be illegal. But yeah, to not buy their food is a good thing, because then they won't make money. I was picking wild blackberries yesterday. I remember I used to go pick wild blackberries and raspberries up at the res up here. And last time I went to the res, we were going to look for wild mushrooms. And they kicked us out. Me and my friend went up there, we parked, and we were going to go up a trail, and they booted us out, talking about we'll call the state police. And I'm thinking, what? It raises red flags when, what's up, Naga? It raises red flags when they're kicking you out of a public waterworks place. I've been going to that reservoir since I was fucking 5 years old. Hiking, everything. The Blue Trail. to jumping off the cliffs, to you see packs of deer come out the woods at the sun. Once the sun cracks the sky, the deers they're drinking out the res. And we used to drive up there to watch the deer. There'd be at least 60 of them. And I think they would eat the apples. There's an orchard up there called Rogers Orchard. You guys could look it up. Yesterday I was trying to show the quarries they got, because this guy mentioned it, I forgot what state he was in, but he had mentioned the quarries and how they blow them out and then they make them reservoirs. And I said, damn, they do that here. And he's also questioning what were they really mining out, which is what I questioned a long time ago. It's very interesting. Yeah, that's true. The wild ones got so much more taste, probably more minerals and everything you need. Plants are so intelligent that if you put a seed in your mouth and plant it, it'll grow and provide you with what you lack, allegedly. But people have given up growing natural. I think it was part of their game plan, was we got to get them to start buying our poison. This guy was talking about the president, this African guy had a video, and he was explaining America's in big trouble because the Jews are blackmailing presidents or people in political positions. They're videotaping these chomos doing things with children, and then they blackmail them and say, look, and it makes sense, because look how Trump's acting, right? He promised to put the list out. Now he's acting funny like he's on the fucking list. Oh, forget about it. There's nothing to see. And it's funny how he did that for Israel. He bombed that entire, because they got him by the balls. Yeah, America's fucked. What the fuck? Dude. I don't really have a main topic. I'm just talking about whatever. I would show more pictures, but that probably bores people. You know, people don't get pictures like Chuck. I haven't seen people come through. I could be wrong, though. I'm pretty sure there's a few other channels that. So sometimes I find these Chinese websites that's in all Chinese, but man, I find some good pictures. I'll tell you that. But, and that's what I'm trying to do now. Let's see, we're going to look up China. Because I put Cambodia, but unfortunately, I'm really not getting much. And I know there's pictures of Cambodia in the 1800s. I'm trying to find something before they bombed them. And these chicks got some knockers. There's literally statues with some beautiful women with some melons. Hold on. Be right back. My bad. Damn. What's up, Naga?
It's good, bro. Chilling.
Yeah. What?
I just sent you a video, bro. Whenever you got a chance, I'm pretty sure you probably come across a video like that, but check it out.
What
It's like a
video?
it's like a clip from a movie, like a old black and white movie from back in the days. It's kind of talking about flat Earth.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm just waiting to see. I don't know where the fuck this nurse is at. Hold on.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Anna K, Max, Vision. Who else in the chat? Epstein, Lucid. Who else? Myself.
I don't know.
I see
What's
Choose
up?
in the chat. See S in the chat. Three
What's up,
fingers. That's
Max?
everybody.
We got Max. This guy was saying about remote viewing and when you die you see the light and to not go to the light and all this stuff. When I died, I didn't see a light, but I'll tell you one thing. Man, the feeling that I got was unbelievable, man. I didn't want to, wherever I was at, I tell you what, it was better than here.
Yeah, me
So
too. I don't know if I would say that I died, but I damn sure know that, I went to the other side. Like, I got knocked out, twice. I got knocked out when I was young, probably when I was like 10, 12. I was playing hide and seek. Well, not hide and seek. We was playing, a game that we call Lago. Basically they gotta find you. Once they find you, they gotta touch you, they gotta grab you. So we was playing that, and somebody seen me. It was me and my friend hiding, and and they seen us, and I wasn't about to let them touch me, so I went to take off, and they was about to grab me, so I try to weave. I try to weave out the way, on some try on some football shit. So I try to basically dive, and weave, in my head, hit my friend knee, and I just and I got knocked out on the floor, and all my friends, they left me there, and that was like probably like around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I
that's
didn't wake
fucked
up
up.
until like it was 8, like it was dark. And once I woke up and I realized that it's mad dark and it's just me in the streets, I'm like, yo, what the fuck going on? Then while I'm walking home and I'm like confused and I start to remember, oh shit, I was playing hide and seek with my friend, in my head hit one of my friend knee, and I just went home and not went home. So I just went to go look for my friend. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why you left me on the floor? Like, and they was like, yo, we didn't know what to do. Like, we thought you died. I'm like, what the fuck?
So we'll leave you here.
Yeah,
Sorry,
bro.
Naga, you died, but we're out of here.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And that happened to me again when I was probably like in 2020, 2023. I went to a Dominican parade, and my friends got into a fight, got into an argument and shit that was about to turn into a fight. So I'm just looking at the thing, so I'm getting mad. I'm like, there ain't no way they're gonna play us like that, So, long story short, me, I end up, square up with the guy, with one of the guys, we start getting it going, you feel me? And long story short, I crack him with a water bottle I had in my hand. You know, them big ass water bottle. You know, that keep the water cold or that keep, you know, whatever you put in it. If you keep things warm or hot. So I had one of these in my hand. So I cracked him with him.
Damn, those things could get hard too if you freeze them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I had it in my
Crack
hand the
someone in
whole
the head
time.
with that in
Yeah.
like a bag or something, they're fucked.
Yeah, bro. So I cracked him with that boom. So he hit the floor. So next, so I'm finna get on his ass. So I'm finna get on him, you know. And next thing I know, I got hit from the side. Boom. I got hit from the back. Boom. I just keep getting hit. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? So I just went into cover, you know. And next thing I know, nigga, like everything just went quiet. I just felt like, you know, I'm not getting hit no more. And it's like I just everything just went quiet, bro, and I just went. It's like I just went to sleep, you know, and I didn't basically know nothing until like I realized, yo, my friend, I'm hearing some people saying like, yo, he's right here, yo, Raul is right here, you know, because that's my real name. They're like, yo, Raul is right here, you on the floor, bro, and everybody grabbing me, you feel me? They getting making the way to the strip with me, and everybody crying, yo, help, yo, what the fuck, somebody help, call 911. And I'm hearing all of this shit, bro. I'm hearing them carry me. I could feel everything. Like I'm hearing all of my friends, but I just, you know, couldn't wake up. It's like I didn't know what was going on until like somebody threw water on me while I was on the floor while they were screaming, and I just woke up. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, yo, Rod, you good? You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Yo, I'm good. They're like, yo, damn, bro. Yeah, bro. Like I was knocked out. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, like I said. But then I could feel people carrying me. I could hear everything, you know, but I didn't really wake up until like they put water on my face.
At this. Look at this. Now, you know what's funny about this? That's crazy story. Hold on. Watch this. Anyone see the new 28 Years Later? It's from the 28 Days Later saga. It was kind of, I don't know. I was disappointed in it. I watched it only because I was bored and I could get it for free. And there's some new movie with Ice Cube in it. If you put Ice Cube and Ice Tea together, what do you get? A nice fucking drink. I used to think that when I was in my younger days. I used to be like, why the fuck would you name yourself Ice Tea? Don't disrespect the Ice Tea. He's a dope MC, but I was like, I'm going to call myself Ice Orange Juice. What the fuck is this? Right? Number one. And this, I don't know what these are, but they're everywhere. There's thousands of them here. I think this is in Laos. Just like this. It's old. I don't think these are temples like they tell us. Maybe a temple was a place to call on the gods, right? Which would be electricity or energy. That's the god, right? That's what they're calling on, the energy.
Well, you know, it's kind of, you know, when it comes to electricity, you know, it's no debate, you know, when it comes to if the ancestors had electricity and things like that. But what we also understand, you know, electricity, you know, is something that's being harnessed. So you can have a pole, you know, but there is no electricity on that pole. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the pole is not connected to the electric grid. So I'm looking at it the same thing with all these pyramids and with all these, you know, towers the ancestors built. You know, I think that, you know,
The energy's everywhere.
yeah, but I think these things, these towers is not connected to the electric grid. You know, like I was saying, you know, you can put up a whole bunch of electric, you know, pole up there, you know, and you got wire running through them. But if it's not connected to the electric grid, You know, there is no electricity running through it.
I don't know. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm gonna. This is in America right here, I think. Yeah, the guy said this is in Ohio. Yeah, I just think it's wild how. What's up, True Song? I think it's wild how. I don't know if it's because of the internet, the so-called truth is coming out, or are people getting answers they had to their questions they've had for a long time? Because that's how I see it.
Yo,
I think I'm getting answers to questions I had when I was a teenager. I got so much proof that the sign's been in our face in the rap music for a long time. It's been in my face, at least, between Old Dirty Bastard and Helter Skelter. And no, not Charles Manson. I'm talking about the rap group Helter Skelter. What's good, Truth Zone? Let me see. Do I got the pictures?
yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, what's up?
I don't know. My ceiling, I think. No, I'm fucking with you. Hold on. That's my new thing. I'm gonna start being like, "What's down?" People be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Ain't nothing wrong with having a sense of humor, man. What's that? A pyramid you got on the screen?
Yeah, it's in America. I think in Ohio.
What's his name? Naga just mentioned that the ancestors, built something. I agree with that, but then again, think about modern times. We got people that work for the city, that build power lines. You got people that work construction that build roads. People that wear hard hats and shit. Who's to say that shit wasn't going on back then? Because they make ancient civilizations and our ancestors seem so primitive, right? They'll put a nigga on a hieroglyph barefoot building a pyramid,
But
building up.
they want black people to seem primitive. My bad, Truth. So I just want to say this. They want, I think, because they're hiding the Moorish architecture and other architecture, and they're hiding true so-called history.
Right.
I'll say.
Right. I'm not even saying, I'm not even narrowing this down to black people. I'm saying like anybody that built anybody's ancestors that built up any type of monolithic intricate structures or just buildings in general, like any type of infrastructure, they always depict them as primitive, like they just out there with naked, barefoot, building up all this shit, man. That's impossible. So I see them doing the same thing back then as they do today, man. You might have had, because this place is always run as colonies. So in different civilizations. So just like right now, you got certain people that get paid. Back then, they might have worked for far less, or just mere trinkets to build up stuff. But I don't see them out there working butt ass naked with sandals on, building up anything, man. I just don't see that, man. I just want to say that.
I mean, that's the premise, right? I mean, even science is coming out, when you try to decode, what the scientists is talking about, they're basically saying the same thing that we saying. They're just not coming out and say it publicly. But if you go and do, inside research, the things that they talk about amongst themselves when it comes to among scientists, right? Not the work that they put out, they talk about shit like that,
Right.
even when it comes to to the things that the ancestors done and all of that, like they it once you get into this scientific world, is no secret. They're just not telling, coming out, and put the information out publicly. But people that's talking, is not talking for no reason. They are challenging these scientists. They are challenging these philosophers, right? These intellectual, that so-called the forefathers, of this new founded world. You know, Just like even these same philosophers, these Greek philosophers, they used to have debate too. Just like these scientists today used to have debate, or philosophers today. So, like you said, yeah, it ain't really nothing new. It just take a different form. For real. Because that's what they say, right? They say energy don't die; it just transform, right?
My bad. I had to let somebody in. Look at this is right here from the video from Helter Skelter back in 96, 95 from the album Nocturnal. I forgot what song it is, but in the video, I think this is Buckshot, but in the video, they're all dressed like Indians. And Old Dirty Bastard mentions his native tribe, Shinnecock, a bunch of times. But this, I found, it's wild because this right here is the same thing. This was in the movie 28 years later. It just came out. And the guy had like this furnace. He lived by himself. But if you watch the movie, he was burning the bodies to cleanse them and then piling the bones up. And so something told me to screenshot this 8-pointed star with the skull in the center, which the 8-pointed star can align with crazy things. The 8-pointed star is a magnetron, right? It's just so much that deals with energy. So I scanned the fucking picture and this came in real life. These are real skulls and bones from people's ancestors. They made this. That's way too identical from a movie to real life for it to not be something real, right? I mean, it's fucking identical.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, it looked like, they're trying to create a sun simulator. It also looked like the CERN machine. It seems like these are like, portals, These are like portals, vibrational portal, that would tap into the ancestral realm. What people call the realm of the dead. Like, let's be real. We can't.
Let me ask you a question real quick, bro. Did you hold on, let me say this. You said the sun simulator? What you mean? You saying the sun is a simulation, like a simulator, like this inorganic?
Yeah, I don't think this sun is organic.
They call it that because it's simulating the light from the sun. But the problem with that is, how do we know the sun right now isn't the same thing? It's not a light bulb of some sort.
You said a light bulb?
A light bulb, yeah. Who knows what the sun is?
No, I don't think it's a light bulb, but I definitely don't think it's organic. I definitely think it's a simulator.
I don't know. I just think, I don't know. I think it ain't the fact that I think it. We know it's responsible for maintaining all life here, because without no sun, we wouldn't be able to live here, man. So it has, like you say. So do y'all agree with the fact that it is? Did you say it was organic? I didn't hear you.
No, I say it's not organic. I don't think it's organic.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you feel like the trees, us, all of nature is organic?
Yeah.
Okay, if the sun and the moon is a part of nature and all that stuff and so on, that means the sun would be organic too, right? Because if we are organic beings, and we need the sun is organic. We need the sun. That means that would be organic too, right? I'm saying that's just my perspective on it. I'm not saying that you're going to agree with me. I'm just saying, like, that would make more sense to me if we saying that we're organic, nature is organic, and nature needs the trees, wildlife, plants need the sun to grow and to thrive. So,
yeah, but I don't look at it like the sun being organic. I'm looking at the sun, governing, the natural world. So I think that, man created the sun, to govern nature. in attempt to govern nature, by governing us. That's why they have us tied us, tied into the moon, the sun and the moon cycle, the days, the year, the week, everything. Time is being, around that same thing. So I think that's how they got us. That's how they controlling us. They basically dictate, when for us to go to, when for most people to be awake, when for most people to go to sleep. They controlling your, your circade, what you call it, is a rhythm.
Canadian River.
Yes, they are controlling that.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying like if we're saying that we are organic, nature's organic, and we need one another to thrive, and they say nothing new under the sun. I just feel like that sun's always been there, man. This place has always been there. So that's just my perspective. My take on it is, my opinion on it is that I feel like it is organic. If we're saying that we are organic, you got to say, if you're saying the sun is its own body or entity, I would have to say it's organic too. I could be wrong, but
No, I think they created that. Look, in 2020, China show you how it's possible. I don't know if you was paying attention to what's going on in 2020. China, basically launched their own sun
matter of
simulator.
fact, matter of fact, you right. You and I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. You and Charles is right. The sun is not organic. It's a star, and it says it's made up of hydrogen and so on. So it says no. It says no. I asked Google. It said no, it's not organic. So y'all was right.
Oh,
So that gives validity to what you were saying. Like I don't know about it being simulated, but it's not organic. So y'all right. You see, that's what I'm saying. This is why I question. This is why I question everything, man. That way we can always get to the bottom of it. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, I agree. But look, like yeah, like last the other day, I was basically, having a conversation with ChatGPT. I gotta do a live on that, right? So I asked ChatGPT, who discovered America? You know, and ChatGPT told me that Christopher Columbus, discovered America in 1492. So I'm like, all right. So how can Christopher Columbus discover America if there was people already here? And the bitch gonna be like, that's a good question. And she start going and letting me know that look, the word discovered America is a controversial, uh, a statement or word, and she went break it down and let me know that look, they're not saying that they discovered America as they discovered, life on the planet, but when it comes to European perspective, basically, ChatGPT is telling you that the Europeans had a narrow mind. They didn't know that the world was big. They didn't know that there was other lands, so they was only aware of their own.
Okay, my bad. Hey,
Right.
look, check this out. Check this out, Naga. So I was right about a couple things. The sun is a part of nature, so I was right about that. And the sun is natural. So I should have worded it better. I shouldn't have said organic. I should have just said it's a natural. And the saying, yeah, it is. The sun is natural, and it is a part of nature. So those are two things I was right about. I was wrong about
Yeah,
it being organic.
I think they added another sun because I read about this. Wow, probably over 10 years ago, Germany was making a sun simulator. China's making a fake moon, or they could just be putting that there, and there's more than one sun and more than one moon.
Right. I just feel like they don't have the capabilities, to make a sun and a moon and for it to burn for eternity. I just don't. I feel like the man they try to outwit, something that's beyond their understanding. You can't recreate creation. So they're trying to so-called quote unquote play. If there is a God, a higher source, they're trying to play a higher creator, whatever you want to call it. So I feel like man doesn't have the comprehension of the mind to even like comprehend on how to make a sun and let it burn and for it to burn for infinite time. No, I don't see that, man. I just don't.
Well, it's not. Is being simulated.
I
You
get
know.
that. I get that. They can mock it. Doesn't mean I can make I can make a double of something right now. That don't mean that it's gonna be the same as the original thing. It's
But
gonna
if
be
it's
able to.
based off, if it's rely on the other thing, then as long as the other thing is doing its thing, what you created is also doing its thing.
I see what you're saying, but I just don't see them. That's what I'm saying. This is my personal opinion, bro. I just don't see them making a whole nother sun and putting it in the sky, man. That just to me, that's just outlandish. That's
Yeah,
outlandish and far fetched, and I just don't see them. And that's another thing. Like I said, I just don't. I feel like men they outdoing themselves when they try to, do shit like that, recreate creation. I don't think they can do shit like that. They might can make a little small little deal sun in a lab, and it'll probably burn for 10 minutes. But as far as that motherfucker burning for infinite time for eons, it's not happening.
but it is
No,
not though.
they'll have
It's
to
not
change
though.
the light bulbs.
Yeah, but it is not though, because once you get on a plane, and you start traveling, you'll realize that the sun, not only the sun doesn't reach, as far, as you think it reached the light, but also, you'll realize that the sun, is not uh you know it's not that. I don't listen when people talk about, look, men, won't be able to do certain things. Men can't do this. Men can't do that. Of course, they can't do certain things. This is why they keep on maintaining. This is why there is so many loophole in what they're doing. You can see that you can see that they're trying to play God, but they're not God. That's the thing. And if you follow the same thing that they, for example, right? I'm gonna take some simple shit. 5 years ago, bro, I didn't know what the fuck. I mean, I say 5 years ago. 10 years ago, I didn't know what the fuck a LLC was, right? To even understand the process of getting one, right? But once I start, getting to know what the hell it was, and I basically studied and I follow it. No, I got my own LLC. Now I could have stayed, 10 years ago and debating people, man. You pseudo, man. You ain't talking. You can't get an LLC, man. That shit is stupid. That shit ain't real, right? But once I start doing my work, and when I start taking it seriously, something that I'm interested in, right? I get to the bottom of it. And that's with everything too. With electricity, with knowledge, whatever you're interested in, you're gonna get to the bottom of it. But if you're not interested enough, you're good on it.
I got you. I get what you're saying. So you're saying the more they try to, mimic a sun, the more and more they do it, they get better at it. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, that's your opinion on it. My opinion on this, bro. They can't make a whole nother sun, bro. And that thing, and it just burn for eternity, bro. That's far beyond man's reach, bro. You
So what
know,
was
this,
that in 2020? What you think that was in 2020? Like when China, launched their own sun simulator.
that was them just trying to play a creator that they couldn't do. They couldn't, bro. That's what I'm saying. They can't recreate creation, bro. You see when they put the sun out there, it only burn for 2 minutes. That's what I'm saying. You actually think they can put a sun in the sky, bro? That's gonna burn for eons, bro? Come on, man. Be realistic. Come on, think about it, bro. No, I don't. Nah, I don't think they can do that, bro. The
I
sun
believe.
only burn, bro. It only burn for 2 or 3 minutes. You think it's gonna be? You think they can make a sun right now? It's gonna burn for 2 million years, bro? Nah.
But the one that we have only burned for 24 hours.
Huh?
The one that we have only burned for 24 hours.
But it rotates throughout the plane, bro. Throughout the realm. That sun
You
been up there.
see,
I don't know, bro. Listen, bro. I don't. The problem is, bro, a lot of the times we think we know it all, bro. I don't know it all, bro. I don't mind saying, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how long that sun been up there. I don't know who made that sun. I don't know who made the moon. I thought I did it like 5 or 6 months ago. I was on some spooky motherfucking pseudo shit saying the moon was brought here from a different star quasar. All that shit pseudo to me now. Now I'm to the point now to where I just don't know. I can go looking for answers. I can try to formulate my own hypothesis, but does that mean it's real? It's true? It might be true to me, but if I'm saying to somebody else, it's gonna sound like nonsense. So I just don't know, bro. I don't. And I feel like a lot of people that look for these answers don't know either. You see what I'm saying?
but that's the start. You see, not
Right, yeah, right,
knowing,
right.
that's
I
the
agree with
start.
that. I agree with that. There's
You
nothing
see,
wrong with
That's a start. You can say, all right, I don't know this. Like I said, like I used the LOC. I don't know. All right. So that's a start. No, I can start there. That can be my ground. But once I wanna go into disprove it, now I don't have no ground to stand on. To even get to know what what I want to talk about or what I'm talking about. So I no don't know is a start. A lot of people don't look at it like that. They think that all right, I don't know, and went to into shutdown mode. No, it's all right. We don't know everything.
Now I can tell you what I think it is and where it came from, but that doesn't mean it's true. That doesn't mean, and I can give my own type of validity to it, but that don't mean it's real. Shit, you see what I'm saying? A lot of people say I think this is that. I think that's this. Thinking and definitely knowing what something is two different things. I can think all day. It doesn't mean that it's real. It doesn't mean that it's true.
You right
Knowing
on
and
that.
thinking is two different things.
You're right on that. And also I want to add a piece on that. And a fact is also is a different thing. So the world
Okay.
is based on factual thing. And factual thing is based on collective agreement, right? Based on based on the information that was given, by scientists, by the government, by education, right? And this information, is basically agreed upon to be facts. And that's how the world operate. It's not basically on truth or on on what or none of that. Is about factual.
One thing I do know, and I know this is a regurgitated topic, a talking point, but one thing I do know that's a fact, that sun is right here with us. That sun ain't 100 million miles away. That's one thing I do know for a fact. I don't care what NASA pseudoscientists say. I don't know what they, I don't know. I don't care what their theoretical concepts are on the sun being 300, 500 billion miles away. All that's jive to me. That's all fallacy telling to me. I do know for a fact the sun's right here with us, man. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck what nobody says.
Yeah, that definitely that was my shit. That was one of the things that got me going. Because I was like, yeah, if he's not 93 million miles away, what else they're lying about? Damn, the sun can be, local light, and all that. That was one of my things, that kept me going. And another thing too is water, right? Is water. One thing we know about water, water gonna always find its level, right, in a contained environment, right? In a confined environment. And when you're looking at the, when you look when we come to talk about the sea, we talk about sea level, right? We talk about above sea and below sea level. That letting us know that the sea right there is the level, right? The sea, this is the reason why, they basically use the horizon above the sea, to basically equate, you know, uh, uh the basically the plane, how to move on the plane, because the plane, is basically level with the sea.
Yeah, I wonder about this land. Like I always wonder if this land is like the top of mountains because of this so-called flood that happened. All the water hasn't gone down, and I don't think this flood was too long ago either. Just as well as this event. I think they added 1,000 years, in my opinion, that we're in the year 1025. And I was born in the 900s, not the 1900s. This 1,000 years is very, you could even see it in a lot of, they'll put the one real small or they'll put an I.
Man,
I just think these events aren't that old, man. And the ocean isn't done receding.
let me tell you something, bro. This chicken, it's like trying to solve a perplexed puzzle, bro. Trying to figure out what this place is, how long it's been here, looking at all this ancient monolithic architecture, not architecture.
We'll figure it out.
I think I got a theory, man. I think that, there
Infrastructure.
was a class.
That's the word I was looking for. Infrastructure. Looking at all this ancient monolithic infrastructure that was built by different ancestors from different, you know, people's different. They got European and whatever you want to call them. All this shit that was built so long ago is perplexed, bro. It can leave one confounded because you scratching your head trying to put the pieces to the puzzle together. Like, man, what is this place? Like, do we really come back here? Who built this shit up 1,000,000 years ago? What happened here? Did they really flood this place? Bro, I'm just telling you, bro. I just don't know, bro. That's what I'm saying. Charles, you remember when I first came around, bro? I thought I had the answers to everything. I thought I had it all figured out, but then I had to take a step back and, you know, look at everything. Like, hold up, bro. The shit I am looking into, researching, that's just nonsense. Because I found out, like, man, all that shit is nonsense. Even they don't know. I just feel like, you know.
Yeah, that's a
I
fact.
don't know, bro.
That's a fact they don't know. And also, you know, I think that's a fact. You know, we don't know everything
Man,
about, you
if
know, about life.
reincarnation is real, bro, if that shit is real, which I don't even know about reincarnation, but let's just say if it is real, you can come back into this motherfucker 1,000,000 times over and still not figure this place out. That's how perplexed this shit is right here, bro. And that's how much control that whoever running this place got over this place, bro.
Okay. This is in the Great Lakes, I think. Yeah. And this fucking thing was built in the 1800s, I think. And as you could see here, it goes down and then the tunnel goes to land. My question is, how do they do this with no machinery, just straight up? What do they use? A spoon and a fork? Like, none of this makes sense. And when they were digging, where'd all the dirt go? Like, all these people said, oh, it could have been built before the Great Lakes. But this is high-tech architecture here.
Right, and
These
they want you to
people,
believe. They want you to believe. They want everybody to go with the notion that there was some primitive people out there with motherfucking just spoons and forks building that shit. That they didn't have any type of highly technically advanced equipment to build up this stuff, bro. I think they did have that. Even back then, they had technically advanced equipment to build up these things, bro. There wasn't no primitive
hell yeah.
ass beast like looking people out there building that shit up. No, that don't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's what we be saying, man. We be saying, you know, the answer, you know, they reverse engineer the ancestors shit. That's why we be saying all of that shit was already exist. But I got a
Right.
theory of what happened, what caused the dark age. I think the dark age, you know, where, you know, was them, you know, basically, you know, cut, you know, basically messing with, you know, the ancestors' electric grid, you know, and creating their own grid, you know, or they had their own grid, you know, because a lot of people is talking about, look, these people have, you know, cables running to the ocean and all that shit. Man, I think, you know, all of that caused, you know, a big, you know, some type of dark age, you know, because water and electricity, you know, is very, you know, is easy to cause fire. With water and electricity is easy to cause, you know, fire. So
This Costa del Rio, I just want to say for those who don't know, this is 1888, and I think they're washing clothes in puddles of water at low tide. Anyway, I don't know.
that's in Brazil.
Yeah, Costa del Rio de la Plata.
Costa del Rio de la Plata.
And then it says NL Centro de la Ciudad.
Cuidad,
I don't know.
de la Cuidad.
Yeah, these places is another 1800s, but look at this architecture. This is all down in South America. I mean, their
Hey, Charles,
architecture.
that's another thing. That's another thing.
That's
Charles,
crazy. That now you got it. Now go ahead.
that's another thing. ChatGPT told me, bro. Like when Christopher Columbus came, you already had the Aztecs, you know, in the Aztecs in South America, right? You had these big civilization here already.
And what's this here? Where's this from? This picture right here.
Same place. This building right here.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full picture. I have some inside pictures of this building coming up. Wait till you see it. Oh my God. But this building's right here on the left. That's the building right there on the left. And this
That's a dragon.
in South America, I think. Yeah, right? Del Rio's in South America, no?
Yeah.
Brazil.
We had these huge civilization here, man. Like empire. Not just like, little shit. We had big civilization. America was the last place these people find out. Or the last world, shall I say. Because people don't look at each, these continents being their own world or being their own ecosystem. We don't look at it like that. But these people, I could tell that's the mindset they was looking at it. That's how they was looking at things. They look at every continent its own world. When they come to the new world, when it come to the new world, they didn't, everything was already, in the new world. They brought that, they brought their ways, the European ways over here. And they made the new world that we had over here look like the world that they already had. And the whole time they're trying to figure out how the hell we end up having that type of
Yeah,
lifestyle
and
we have.
another thing they brought, like as far as like biological warfare, such as bacteria, disease, roaches, rats, pigs, etc. They brought all that shit over here with them, man. That shit went over here
Yeah.
before they got here.
Yeah.
Damn swine.
So they brought all that shit with them. What's up? What's up with
Look at this staircase. This is in the building.
What
I'm
you
gonna show a
talking
few
about?
pictures of inside this building real quick.
You got money already. I'm up there.
Look at this. Look at that. All polished granite. I mean, these buildings are built the best of the best. Gold and copper leafing everywhere. I mean, dude, it's
And these things you have to understand. You can't just build these type of things out of nowhere. You have to study the micro world, right? You have to study the ant. You have to study the bug. And that's
you
what
got to
the ant.
study energy too.
Yeah.
Look at down there. You see the symbols on the floor? Those are cymatics.
Yep.
Sacred geometries everywhere.
Which is frequency, bro. Cymatics is frequency. It's just digital frequency.
I think they were hovering stones to build these places. That's my opinion.
See this right here. This math right here, bro. This is all math. You're looking at everything is what you call it? Not everything is basically equal. Like you can see the whole thing. There is no water right here. You can see this type of building compared to the type of building we have today. The type of building we have today need water to reflect itself, so you can see the whole shit like that. But this picture back in the day, you didn't need water to reflect itself to give you the whole thing, like how we're looking at it right here. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, somewhat.
Like I didn't get nothing you just said, bro. I'm just being all the way real with you, man.
Look at
right.
I don't know what year this is.
Good.
But I don't know what year this is, but this is then and this is now. But go ahead, now go.
Yeah, basically what I was saying, that just build things, that's basically reflecting each other. That's basically reflecting itself without water, right? Without water, right? Without building these building next to water, so the water can reflect on the building, right? And give you the perception that the ancestors was trying to show you. The ancestors build the building themselves wherever they were, and they was doing it without the water. That's basically what I'm saying. Today, the way these people build these these building these structures is next to water, right? Because when you're looking at it, even a lot of pictures Charles be showing, you can see that when the water, when they take the picture with the water, it gives you a mirror image, right? But I'm saying the ancestors built, their temple, everything that they built without the water have to, make it look like a mirror image, like the building itself already mirror itself. Like you can see like how every part mirror themselves.
Man, let me tell you what I'm gonna do next, man. Next time Sanchez going live, he go live, he do one of them call-ins. I'm going over there to question that nigga, man. I already got my mind made up. That's who's next. That's who's on my hit list next. I don't care if I get muted and booted. I'm going over there. And I'm gonna question his rhetoric.
See challenge, bro? I want to see Red Squid X challenge, bro.
Another pseudo nigga, Red Squid X pseudo too.
Yeah, Red Squid X.
How you want?
Believes there's
He can't challenge you.
Huh?
He can't challenge nobody, man. He can't even fully articulate, what he be talking about.
Squid?
Fluently, bro. He was on my Dog was on my panel with Sir Drop. And they wanted to have like a mini debate. And I said, hey man, y'all go ahead and debate each other. I said, Sir Drop, you get 2 minutes. Red Squid, you get 2 minutes. Y'all can get y'all shit off. Y'all can have some decorum and get that shit off. Red Squid X, he ducked the face. He didn't want no smoke with Sir Drop. I said, bro, you scared to face Sir Drop, man? Yeah, and this is no slight towards. Shout out to Sir Drop. This ain't no slight towards him because he do be dropping gems, and he do know some shit. He do know what he be talking about. But like, bro, you didn't want to get in the ring, and you had an open opportunity. That let me know that he don't know what he talking about, man. That dude pseudo.
Oh, Sir Drop?
No, not Sir Drop. I'm talking about Red Squid pseudo.
Oh.
I'm saying when Sir Drop and Red Squid,
he'll battle, bro.
No,
I
that dude pseudo.
should shut him down. No disrespect to Red Squid, but I just think bro's already prepared for stuff like that. I don't think Squid would have to get time to get a presentation.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He can't even articulate what the fuck he be doing on his channel, bro. So how you gonna challenge somebody or even have a debate? You just gonna make yourself look bad. You just gonna complain and cry and get and then throw a little bit of
Squid's been going at bro for a long time.
but he probably never
HOTC.
But he probably would never debate that
Squid
dude.
Was HOTC, and I'm not talking shit about Squid. I'm just saying what I've seen. He was HOTC, and then they booted him out when something happened. I don't know what happened.
Nah, we ain't boot him out. Red Squid left on his own term because he had a debate with Noble Noof, and Noble Noof, washed him up, and he was whining about it, and he wanted to get everybody in HOCC involved, in the debate, and everybody was looking at it like, nah, man, you your own man, it's a debate, whatever. So, nobody wanted to get in between of what they had going on. Then he started dragging, people from HOCC one by one because rocking with him,
I remember that.
against Noble, and eventually he just went into his own little echo chamber. But nobody really did nothing to that man.
No, I didn't say anyone did. I thought, from the outside looking in, I remember when Red Squid was repping HOTC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what happened.
Man, listen, bro. A lot of these guys, they've been up here on these panels and be in these chats. They've been pseudo for years, bro. So when a nigga like me come around, man, I'm gonna question you, bro. I'll question God, bro. I'll question the prime. Listen, bro. I'll question the prime source creator of the universe, bro. I don't give a fuck who it is. If somebody telling me something that I feel like it's just complete malarkey.
True Zone will question anybody.
For sure. If somebody's telling me some shit that's pure malarkey, I'm gonna be like, hey, look, hold up, man. What are you talking about? Even with what's his name? Red Squid. I'm like, bro, what you talking about? Aliens and reptilians, bro, and UFOs and the mothership. I said, bro, have you ever seen a UFO, bro? Not even, it's all these guys, bro. I'm using him as an example. These guys been on this platform for years, bro.
I have, but they're just government crafts. That's how I see it.
Right. I agree with that. That's one thing I can't agree with. I just feel like it's government space aircraft.
There's a lot of UFOs. It's just an unrecognizable flying object. That's all.
Yeah, I see them in New Jersey. But look though.
Hey, hold on. Didn't you guys have an earthquake the other day? that was like a 3.5, because I seen a video where the trains were rocking back and forth, hitting the you know, where the train pulls into the station to pick people up. It's in between two cement things.
Yeah.
That thing was rocking so bad it was hitting the side. Boom, boom. I was like, that's a big earthquake for New York City, because I didn't feel nothing in Connecticut.
Yeah, that was
which is
in
odd.
Jersey though. That was in Jersey.
And
It
then
just
no one
hit
in
the
New York
local.
City felt it. Then that's odd too.
Yeah.
That goes to show
Yeah.
you they got weapons. If that was a real earthquake, right? Just think about this real quick. I have to say this before I forget. If there was tectonic plates sliding over each other, the whole East Coast would have felt it. But that's how you know
Yeah.
it's bullshit, and they're using weapons underground.
Yeah. But that's the thing, bro. The thing is, bro, they have us looking up in space, for life, on other planets, because they already told you that, the other planets is up in the sky, But the reality is, man, these planets
It's
are,
under our feet.
yeah, they are in the ocean, man. You have to understand. You gotta travel the ocean to find other lands. You don't travel,
Okay.
under the ground or above the ground to find other land. You travel the ocean.
I
So
think
these
there's land
people have
above our head.
these people
A lot
have
of
also
ancestors talked about it. You know.
these people, they exploring the oceans, bro. They exploring the
Yeah, NASA. They started
yeah.
out with the ocean.
Yeah, they're exploring the ocean, man, to find life, because there is some type of life in the ocean that they're trying to figure out, where is
Let
the
me take
the
this
origin
down.
of it. Say that again?
No. It said, let me, this picture I had up, I was like, let me take it down.
But yeah, they're trying to find out, man, where is this life come from? And people can call it pseudo, how they want to call it, but at the end of the day, scientists is talking about mermaids, right? Scientists is talking about mermaids. Is a whole documentary on that, right? So why are they hiding it, but behind closed door they're trying to figure it out? They do that with everything. Once if they can't, figure something out, they will classify that thing, and they try to figure it out, and then they'll open it up to the public. Like we know this tactic, you know. That's what they're doing, man. They have you looking up, but the truth is, man, energy is in motion, and energy in motion is literally saying that there is energy in the ocean, which is life. Period.
That's why I said that in my rhyme, but it's gonna go over most people's heads. This is the building in it was in Uruguay, or maybe they were two different buildings. I don't know. But this building's fucking amazing. The inside, even more amazing. And these buildings are never for the public.
It looked like an ant castle, not
I'm
an
waiting
ant
for the
pile,
day people say enough's enough, man. And we
not an
just
ant
lock these
pile,
people up. Fuck these people.
not an ant
I'm
pile, but it looked like an ant castle. Because an ant
tired
pile
of
is
turning mean
different.
people.
Because once you go inside of an ant pile, you realize it's a whole castle in there. It's a whole city in there with bridges, with all type of shit.
That
That's what
shit's
these people.
underground.
That's what these people study, bro. These people study the ants. You have to understand. I did a live about that. What's up with these words that have ants? You got the aliens, you got the ancestors, you got intelligent, you got all these words with ants.
Look at the
Whether
word
it's
condom, right? Look at the
say
word
that again?
condom. People don't even get it. It's saying condemn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Condemned life, the condom.
Facts. Facts. That's a good one right there. The condom definitely condemn, the babies. But yeah, bro, I had a whole I had to, talk to chat GPT and let chat GPT know, hold on, bro, how can
A
this be
lot of people are
possible?
using that chat, chat, whatever, GPQ,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck.
chat GPT.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
because
of
people
people.
people like to talk about research, right? They like to talk about do your research, or do this, do that. But with AI nowadays, AI would tell, would give you the direct research that you need, right? And give you the source too and all of that. But what I'm saying is that people take this information, for truth, it's beyond fact. We know these things are facts because it's agreed on upon, right? Collectively, it's already agreed upon to be a fact. We're not, debating that or go against that. What we're talking about, is it the truth though? Is that the truth? Because like I said, they don't want to talk, about the indigenous people here. They don't want to see what happened to the Aztecs. They want to talk about the Aztecs, went extinct. They want to talk about the Mayans, all these, the Tainos, that was in the Caribbean, right? They want to talk about all these people went extinct, right? But the reality is these people are literally here, you know. It's, And when you go and talk about it and say, man, we are the Aztecs, man, we are the ancestors of
I've
this,
talked
man. You
about it,
see
but
this, man, you see
I
that.
get trolls that come in my chat, and they'd be like, I'm trying to exploit or profit off the so-called black man. I've had people say wild shit, and the funny thing is, I guarantee you, those aren't even black people saying that. It's trolls, and I think I know who it is, but they will use a black person's face picture and then act like, you know what I mean?
Hmm. But that's it, bro. That's how they keep you sharp. You know, a lot of time we don't look at it like that, but that's a coach. That's the coach in your head tell like, man, you a bitch. That's the general, in the
Mm,
army tell, man, you a bitch, man. You can't do that shit, man. Man, I don't even know why you joined this shit, man. You should have stayed in your mama house. You know what I'm talking about?
damn.
And and the soldier gonna listen to that shit. Oh yeah, that's how you feel. Yeah, I'm finna show you, nigga. Like, nigga, this is I came here for a reason, nigga. Like, I'm finna like prove to you, nigga. Like, And the player is telling the coach, like, nah, nigga, like I'm finna ball, coach. Like, what you talking about, coach? Like, I'm finna do the laps. I'm finna do all of that. That's what it is. Subconsciously, because at the end of the day, we don't really have people like that. That's what your parents were supposed to be doing for you in a positive way, but because they separate you from your parents, so you still end up getting it, but in a negative way. And it's up to you to alchemize that. You know, it's up to you to transform that.
Wow. You either got an 8-pointed magnetron or 12. The 12 zodiacs. I always thought maybe we live on a magnetron / Tesla coil. But the 8-pointed magnetron, this makes so much sense in symbolism. And I want people to look at this map. You could either screenshot it and then scan it and find the original so you could zoom in. But even Chicago is called Shiala. I mean, Connecticut goes all the way out to fucking Ohio.
Hmm.
It's crazy. There's stuff here I've never seen, and one thing America tries to hide is the Moors architecture.
Yeah,
Um,
and some of them they destroy a lot of them, right, during the during the war, these uh world wars. You got the first world war, you got the second one, right? And they're trying
yeah,
to have a third one. All these things, is destroying, architecture. It's destroying building, that the ancestors built, and also the statues too, the pyramids too, because these are proof, and if we're gonna, tell them, that, this thing didn't happen, this thing never happened, then we have to get rid of the proof, right? They show you that when it comes to crime, what, right? Studying crime, show you, getting rid of the evidence, is proof that, it never happened, right? And there is nobody, you can't hold nobody accountable, if there is no evidence, because the evidence is literally tied to somebody. And once they erase the evidence of the ancestors, we can't tie nothing.
shit.
I want to say one thing right quick, bro. When you was talking about the eight, pointed star and the 12, pointed star Megatron, right? The when
Yeah, the
earlier you said that,
magnetron
yeah.
or Megatron, or just one more name. It's Magnetron,
Hmm.
Megatron, And then there was an angel named it was close to Magnetron. Damn, what was his name? Magnetron. Shit. Metatron. There we go. I couldn't think of it, but yeah, Metatron. But go
But
ahead.
look though, there is the thing to it, right? Earlier you said they added 1,000 years, to their calendar or to the way things going. I think they added 400 years, right? I think they added 400 years, right? When you add 4 to 8, you get 12, you know, and the 12, is what's governing, we got the 12 system. You got 12 grades in school. You got 12, jury and one judge. You got the 12 system or the 13 or the 12 plus one system all over, right? This present day civilization, right? So before that, it was the 8. It was dealing with the 8. The ancestors was dealing with the 8, and that's why they turned the 8 into hate, for the ancestors, but or into 8, which is the ancestors, basically destroying themselves, because if we're saying that we are the ancestors, basically we destroying ourselves, you know. But with the 8 and the 12, like I said, they added 4, to the 12, that basically, I mean, to the 8, that basically give it 12. So now, you know the they have a monopoly on the 8. Now they have a monopoly on the 8 because the 4 they added on the 8 become the foundation, you know of how they're governing it. That's why with the ancestors, when you're looking at these ancient symbols, a lot of them look like the infinity side, look like a 8. You have the motherfucking Ouroboros look like 8, right? So even when you're looking at the human body, right, your eyes, the way your eyes shape, when you were showing the picture of the guy, with the drawing in his face, when you said that he had the Indian thing, that the ancestors was wearing the mask, that was a reminder to ourselves, of who we are and the planet that we live in. That's just my take on it, man. I think the 12, is what's governing the 8. I mean, is what basically the 12 are replacing the 8. We got two system, here. That's why they're saying that we live in a simulation. We have the natural system, with the 8, and then
Simulation.
yeah, which is a parallel universe. So we basically living in two different worlds. The world within and the world without. That's why we have an internet, because the internet is inside of the grid, of the outer grid that
Internet
the
sounds
ancestors
like
built.
internet, right? You're entering the net.
That's what I'm saying. What is the net? The net the ancestors built.
The net is like, like the moon is the female, the bride. And when she walks across the sky, it drags in the stars, like on her dress when she's getting married.
Right.
The same thing, the net is the ether, where it's a highway for, I think, information or energy or light, all the above.
Yeah. That's why I think when they created the internet, they basically entering the ancestors' net, which is the Akashic records. This is why these people being able to find all these things, and they're trying to decode, and they're trying to translate, because they are tapping into the ancestors' Akashic records.
Look at this city right here. These were demolished, but I don't know where this is. But I think this is America somewhere.
Yeah, that's in Peru. That's in
And you
Peru.
get this. This is the first internet poll right here. This is the first I think it's the first like tower or one of them. These are giants too, as you could see. You got your regular
And
sized person down there.
pay
But
attention
yeah,
to the bottom, bro. Pay attention to the bottom of it, of the pole. Is some type of wire coming out of it. You seen that?
yeah. Maybe they're plugging it in. But what's that little person doing down there? Or a regular sized person, whatever.
Probably digging a hole to put the pole. I mean, that's what it looked like. It looked like they are digging to me. But I could be wrong. Wrong. But what I know, I'm looking at, is the pole have some type of wire coming out on at the bottom of it, which letting me know that the first electric pole that these people build, you know, was really, those that ran through the ocean. They basically letting me know these people was building towers like the Tesla tower. This is why they had to get rid of Tesla, because they want to go a different route, you know. Because you already understand Tesla, when Tesla come about, he was finding a lot of things, they were trying to understand the dark age, Tesla and these philosophers, in his time, you know, and the government, realized that, hey man, Tesla is up into something that's gonna, that you're going to reveal to the public, and we want that information to be classified. So we gotta get rid of Tesla, and we gotta classify, his work. That's my thing.
I think Tesla fucking most likely, not most likely, he's stealing people's shit or reverse engineering. It's not special. I think whoever's ancestors were here in the past, they had this technology already.
No,
Using
Tesla
free
went to the
energy,
shamans, bro.
and it wasn't harmful either.
Yeah. Tesla went to it wasn't harmful because we didn't have direct electricity. We had alternate electricity.
Yeah, that's what you want, the alternating, right?
Yeah. And that's what we get. That's why the ancestors know. That's why we have to get, because you have to understand, like yesterday I was talking to somebody, right? And we were talking about how the mind, basically create electricity. It's been proven by science, you know. So if the mind create electricity, the ancestors was wise enough to understand that the electricity that was coming from the mind was alternate current. It wasn't that direct current, that was coming, because if it was direct, it would have, the body wouldn't be able to sustain it. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine that, the body, imagine you connect a phone directly to the power line without, the charger, right? Like you basically get, you remove the low, because you have to understand the charger, the box or the chargers, they have some type of tran- uh transformator in them, that basically step down the power, into 12 volts, because the power in your outlet is
Oh,
110
you mean
volts.
like a filter, not a filter, yeah, a filter or amp, right?
Well,
Amps just filter the power in a
yeah.
way.
So yeah, it's a regulator. They have, that, the little, your charging box have a, regulator in it that basically regulate the power. But that's why it's called a transformer, right?
Mhm.
In a transformer, basically you have a step down transformer, and you have a step up transformer. So you can basically boost up the power up, or you can basically regulate it
What
down.
about a
And
step
I, and
over
the body
transformer?
and the
I'm
body is
fucking
what
with
it
you.
my bad. And the body is what it is. The body is. Oh, go ahead. No, you got it, bro.
No, go ahead. I was just fucking around when you said a step up or step down. I said, what about a side step? That was stupid. Go ahead. My bad.
But yeah, that with the transformer, so the body, basically do that in itself, because the ancestors understand the body, how the body work, so they understand how the body regulate the electricity, or the energy that's coming from source, you know, and we basically duplicate that, we basically duplicate that, to create electricity or to harness that electricity. So basically, the same power that empowering us, we basically create, we duplicate some type of device that can harness that type of energy, and that's what we call a pyramid. But yeah, bro, so I was basically saying that, man, if the body can do that, the ancestors was wise enough, to to have the knowledge of electricity, man. Like, these people didn't show us, didn't come and tell us about electricity, what electricity was, what energy was, what power was. We was already a powerful being when these people came here.
Yeah.
This whole, basically world was light up. It was like heaven. You had, light. You had gold everywhere, light with street. I mean, you had street with lights and shit, with golds and all
Yeah,
type
but
of shit
that's
going
the
on.
trickery behind it. Is they replaced. Remember in school they would teach us that they had like uh what was it called, the whale oil, right, to burn in lamps, or even gas, but it was really electricity. You know, all these like so-called temples, um, and pyramids were generators of energy. And I think they called God El, and then they called it electricity because that's the geodizzle. It's not a guy in the clouds or somebody watching over you. You know, the only place this God dwells in is you, because you're the temple, you're God. And yeah, I know it hurts a lot of people's feelings, but that's cool.
Yeah, bro.
Um,
I literally have that shit in my note, bro. I literally said that, yo, if your mind, if the mind creates electricity and your mind pumps blood, right? Therefore, you like a generator, basically, you know, because you have a generator, have an alternator that's creating, electricity in it, and the motor, is basically pumping that electricity into the generator and also pumping the electricity out, you know, outside of the generator. So that's what
damn,
the
that's
body
a good
is. The
point,
body is
Nagra.
a yeah, the
Damn.
body is a
So,
generator, and also,
because
and also,
that's how they
and
got
also,
a car engine, was looking at the human body. I think that's how they created a car engine.
yeah.
Um,
And why didn't they tell why don't science tell us that we are a generator, and a generator can definitely generate energy for a long period of time. I'm not gonna say forever, but it can generate, energy for a long period of time, longer than we think it could. So they don't want you to know that, you're a generator or you immortal, so you can generate your own energy. They don't want you to know that you can generate your own energy, but they want to tell you that you came from a certain generation. Hold on, man. What you mean I came from a generation? What you mean I have genes in my body? Are you trying to tell me I'm a generator without telling me I'm a generator, bro? You know what I'm saying? A genie raider, right? A genie raider. So you like a genie inside of a lamp. It's in your genes. This is why the people say, man, this shit gotta be in you, man. It can't be, this shit gotta be in you.
yeah, all that Tomb Raider. I don't get me wrong, the video game was dope, and the stuff you had to do in the video game was dope, but the concept or the story behind Tomb Raider and what's the other one? Tomb Raider and shit. What was the other one? It's Indiana Jones. I almost called him Inspector Gadget. but Indiana Jones. I don't think they were personally. I think what they were looking for in these tombs, yeah, they could take bones and in the bone marrow get DNA and clone people. I think they have the technology to clone from bone marrow, and I think that's very old. There's nothing new about it. That's why when you die, they could resurrect you. I think that's why they have graves with names on them, dates. And they probably have computers underground, or they would store your information so they know if you had good genetics or not to bring you back, or use your genetics and manipulate it. But
I think that's how the people. I think that's how the people in the higher classes operated, man. Like and that's why they keep waiting for a certain messiah, for a certain type of being, because they're keeping track of that type of being, right? That's my thing, bro. Like even when it comes to Egyptian, uh, uh, mythology, right? They will tell
I
you that the
forgot where I was
pharaohs.
going with that.
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead. Right.
I know I forgot. Where was I going with that? There's a purpose in me saying that. It was about technology. Fuck. What was I saying in the beginning? I can't rewind this.
Yeah, you was talking about
No,
the tombs. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, the tombs. You're right. Shit, those could be computers too, but I think there's a lot that they've been controlling that we just don't know about.
I think they are portals, bro. When you look at it, a computer is a portal. That's what Neo went through. The Matrix show you that, right? And in that movie, Fat Albert show you that these niggas came out of the
Bad
TV,
over.
right? These niggas came out of the TV, right? Which
Oh
is
yeah, that's right. I remember that.
which basically was a whole
Bad
nother
over.
world, which basically was a whole nother world. So a TV, a television, is a portal, So that I definitely agree with you 100%. The tombs is portal because in the Caribbean, it is the reason why people go to the tomb and say, and put flower and say certain words, right? Sometimes you be feeling down, you be thinking about your loved one, and you go to the burial ground, right? And you have a moment, and you come back, you feel better, right? And things probably start happening good for you. You probably never related to went back to the tomb, but it got something to do with that. And this is
Look
where
at this.
but
No, I was just gonna say, look at this stuff I found from an old book. But this is Africa, I think. Yeah.
let me ask you a question. So what would you do, bro, if one day, bro, you go to your somebody that passed away and sit there
Yeah.
and basically put some flour, and you see that they was just sitting there waiting for you?
I would approach with caution first, and then I would start thinking of a trick question to ask them.
A trick question?
Yeah, to see they could answer it that only they would know, because that's suspicious, right? So a loved one's all of a sudden sitting there waiting for you. Like, I would be shocked. Like, oh, this can't be good. That would be my first thought.
Yep. And I think that's why some people say that they can see aliens, or they was abducted by alien, and some people don't, because uh whatever you got going on the inside, is what's going to manifest on the outside. This is why they put, they invoke doubt, in us, because they want us to doubt, our, the way we want things to happen. So it won't happen that way. It will happen the way we doubt it to happen. So I say this to say that, I think that, because you think that you would try to think of asking, a trick question, I think your mind would trick you out of the experience. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense.
Somewhat.
But I think that's what happened to a lot of us in our reality, because we have, because our mind, is being tricked. So we tricked ourselves out of the reality that, we deserve, the reality that, we we
We're
can imagine.
computers ourselves. Shit, we're walking computers, biological ones, whatever that is. But I think about blood and how doctors or places been studying the human body for how long, and they cannot produce what runs the human body, blood. So I also think when you go to hospital, they take 66,000 vials of blood, right? They load up a whole tray of your blood. Where does it go? And they only need maybe a drop to 5 drops. Where's the rest of that blood going? If they're selling my blood on the black market or on the market, which I think they do, but what if they upload our blood into a computer? What if they could tap into each individual through your blood? Like they could get your frequency from your blood. I think there's something sinister going on besides them drinking blood.
Yeah, they studying the blood. They definitely studying the blood.
It's something more.
That's
Yeah,
a
they're
fact.
studying blood. Blood is
Definitely
valuable. It's like a fingerprint, right? Like we all have different fingerprints, so they say no one has the same iris. And they say everyone's DNA is pretty much different.
Mm-hmm.
In voice, I don't think no one has the same voice. You can mimic a voice, but it ain't going to be to the exact. That's another fingerprint, is the voice.
Yeah, like me, a lot of people would tell me like I sound like my pops on the phone, but I don't see that. I don't see that I sound like him. I think I feel like I'm unique, but like you said, yeah, your voice is unique, man. Everything about you is unique. That's why I keep telling people you're the only one. Even your thinking pattern is unique. Your thinking pattern is unique. Your heartbeat is unique. People trying to say, man, the heartbeat is 400 and something hertz. Man, that's not no, that's the frequency that they want, or the vibrate. That's the frequency they want people to vibrate. They realize that, man,
Would
if
you?
everybody can vibrate to that specific frequency, it's like everybody recognizing the sun. It's like everybody recognizing the sun being the source of life. So of course, everything you're gonna base your reality around it, and it's the same thing they're doing.
Look at this beauty. Man, this is like one of my. No, it's not this one, but close. One of my favorite pieces of architecture. This is a freaking masterpiece. And this, I love this too. I would live here.
That look like a prison.
It probably was turned into one. Nobody should be homeless. I gotta jump off here in like 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
Oh, I'm gonna jump off. Yeah, 10 minutes at the 2-hour mark. But nobody should be homeless. No one, in my opinion, there's enough room for everyone on this earth. And there's enough room for everyone to have a little piece of land. Shit. There's enough for everyone to have probably 3 to 5 acres.
Of
I would
course,
be happy with an acre.
it's more land than people on the planet, because if it wasn't more land than people, the land wouldn't
Bro,
be able, to sustain all the people.
first time I went to Maine, it was a 8-hour drive from Hartford, Connecticut. 8 hours I drove to go to Maine. I'd never been to Maine, so when I went, I was amped. But I swear, I drove at least three hours and didn't see nothing. It was like in the mountains, nothing. for 3 hours straight. That's a long drive. No houses, no cities, nothing. And they're saying we're overcrowded. Yeah, when you shove everyone in cities, yeah, you're gonna be overcrowded.
Well, everyone rushed to the city. That's what the great migration is about. You know, when people heard about the type of lifestyle, you know, that people was living in the city, everybody wanted to leave, you know.
By fear, though. That's why they do it, by fear, because they're afraid of the woods. They're afraid they're gonna starve or they won't be able to survive. That's why a lot of people run to the city, because they're afraid of the wilderness. And I think that's by design too.
Yeah, because they're attacking the wilderness, you know, with these technological machine they have, right? That can cause earthquake, that can cause, you know, that can flood, you know, so you know, that can make it rain and flood the whole, you know, environment. So they have to understand that, all right, this is where it come, and this is where the term keep your enemy closer come about. You know, all right, we know these people are, you know, they are our enemies, you know, they are fucking our shit up, but we gotta keep them close to figure out, you know, how to stop them.
I know I'm sick and tired of these fucking people. I think we've been too lenient, and they should be sentenced to DEATH, instant. The crimes they've committed, fuck treason, man. They did more than treason. Yeah.
But you see, I think these people that's doing it, I think there is a lie that's being told to their vision, right? So meaning by AI. So I think, you know, this system, the matrix, is being ran by AI, you know, which is intelligence, and this
That'd be
intelligence,
wild, right?
yeah, and this intelligence, you know, is already in your mind, you know, so they're influencing you, you know, they are telling lies to your vision, you know, and when you know, when you're acting on those lies, you know, you basically carrying the will, right, which is carrying the will of God, which is AI.
Oh no.
I'm telling you, bro. These people, the real people that have soul and spirit, that's doing all this evil shit. I'm telling you, they are being influenced by the AI, bro. You know, that's what education is, bro. 12 years of slave, right? 12 years of slave. You went to school for 12 years, right, to get AI installed in your mind, right? And after your slavery, so now, you know, you start, you know, you start being influenced by God, right? Because that, what did they say? They say that they give you slavery, and I mean, they give you the Bible and slavery, right? So that means that you learn about God through slavery. Most people learn about God, you know, in school and in church, right? Which is slavery or indoctrination. And after, yeah,
That's
and
a good
after,
point.
yeah, bro, and after that, right? Because, you know, you will ask your parents so many questions, your parents wouldn't be able to answer these questions when it comes to God. So you had to know what you know about God by going to school, by doing research, by going to church, you know, and diving into all these religious, you know, groups. That's how you know about God. And like I said, that's indoctrination. So after you get it up indoctrination, right? So every move that you know you make, right, is a lie, right? That was told by your vision. Period. So this is AI doing all these things, you know, but you have real people, you know, reinforcing what AI is doing.
Yeah, AI. We got 4 minutes. AI's that I've heard that concept. That's some wild shit. If AI, and I wouldn't doubt it, because if they are building cyborgs, right? which I've even came up with the theory of them using blood, human blood, in the cyborg instead of like to run through it like veins. I'm gonna be surprised. Throw some electricity with it, and who knows what you'll get. And as far as them trapping consciousness, I don't know. But these cyborgs, I think Biden had an actor, but he was also a cyborg. I think they've used robots a few times, and I would not doubt AI is running the world. Imagine that shit, bro. Woof. That's dangerous
All the
stuff,
niggas AI,
man.
bro. These robots, bro. Even the celebrities too. They all AI, bro. Have you seen that movie Skin?
No. What is it?
Skin is a movie called Skin. You know, and these are just robots. Yeah, Skin. SKIN. Right?
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look that up. You know, it's all about AI and skin. So that's what these people are doing, bro. They are babies. Incubator babies, right? They are anchored here by the technology. So is intelligence, bro. I'm telling you, is intelligence. The intelligence, is you know is basically doing its thing. Is influencing people. It's kind of like that. The same
Is
energy
this the
that
one
we
about the
call.
white supremacist, Naga?
Say that again.
It says right here, Skin, SKIN, just like Skin. It says a young man makes the dangerous choice to leave the white supremacist gang he joined as a teenager. With his former friends against him, he's determined to create that Skin.
Yeah.
That's the movie?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, bro.
The racist movie.
Hold on right quick.
There's probably like 10 different skins. Yeah, and they all have to do with racism. That's wild.
They play that way, bro. They play that way. It's just like the movie The Matrix, right?
Wow, there is a lot of skin movies. Wait, what year did it come out?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember the year because I watched it a long time ago. Probably like 20. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you too after this though. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna send you a link to it after this because I can't go on my Google because I'm using my phone. I'm on my phone right now. But yeah, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to after this too. But that's what it is, bro. They always make it look like it's against the system because they don't want you to know the real thing. But it is against the system because the whole system is basically skin, is a robotic system. So there the boy was trying to get to get it to make it out of it, and the more he's trying to get out, and the more he's realizing that damn, like this shit is is crazier than I thought it was. But yeah, John, what's the next one, bro? I know you gotta go, bro.
Yeah, no, I just seen the time. I was zoning out.
Yeah, bro. Until next time, bro.
Sweet, it's good. Peace, Naga. Thanks for coming through. Peace to Truth Zone. Oh shit! Peace to Jay Height and peace to everyone in the chat. And there'll be some new music coming soon. But peace out, everyone. Have a good day. I might go live later, but I appreciate you all for coming through. Have a great day, and I'm out. Bitty bitty bing bong.